and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, the time is up for all those who conspired against India in the 2611 case. The man who has the blood of 166 people on his hands is being brought to India. Viewers, we're talking about Tahawwur Rana. He was a close aide of David Headley, and he played a crucial role as far as plotting and facilitating the worst terror attack on Indian soil. He tried every trick in the book to evade his extradition to India, but the Indian government was relentless in its effort. Persistent efforts by the Modi government, his diplomacy and strong ties with the US government have ensured that Tahawwur Rana is brought to India to face the law. Let's quickly take you through what exactly we're talking about in terms of the developments. It's in Los Angeles that he will be taking off in a private jet. We're told he's already taken off in a private jet. There will be a fueling stop in Europe is what we are told. And from there on, he will be brought to New Delhi, where he will be taken straight to the NIA headquarters. That's believed to be one of the areas. It could be another undisclosed area as well. But from there, he's going to be presented before a magistrate, and then the due course of law will take place. He's expected to be questioned as well as far as this particular agency is concerned. In fact, let's quickly take you through some breaking news coming in. Tahawwur Rana is headed for India is what we are told. We're also told that his plane has taken off earlier today from Los Angeles at 7:10 Indian Standard Time. Top sources are telling Times Now that the plane carrying Tahawwur Rana departed along with a team of NIA officials at 7:10 p.m. IST. That's the latest coming in. Let's also get you some more breaking news. All right, we have our correspondents Rishabh as well as Bhavtosh joining us. Rishabh, I'm coming to you first. This is in fact the big news coming in. A flight that would take about 17 to 18 hours. We can expect by around noon tomorrow that Tahawwur Rana would be here with the NIA officials in the national capital. Rishabh.
Yes, definitely. What we're given to understand, Madhav, that at around 7:10 p.m. this evening, after all the paperworks were done, he was finally handed over to Indian custody. NIA officials in turn has left Los Angeles and is en route Delhi. From Los Angeles, 17 to 18 hour flight time is what we're given to understand. It will stop for refueling somewhere in Europe, and then from there it will come to India. And as you mentioned, he from the airport here in New Delhi, he would directly be taken to either NIA headquarters or an undisclosed location, and then furnished in front of a magistrate in Patiala House Court.
All right, Rishabh, stay with us. There's some more breaking news coming in, and viewers, this is the information we're getting. We're getting more details of the timeline, the plot and the plotters. The diabolical plan hatched by terror group LET as far as the NIA charge sheet is concerned says that Tahawwur Rana helped Headley by facilitating a 10-year extension in visas, which helped Headley conduct recce's of places that he planned to target. Let's go across to Bhavtosh for more on this. Bhavtosh, a person who has played an active role, a person who has spoken about terrorists getting the highest military honors there in Pakistan, the ones who carried out the 2611 attack, and the very fact that he helped with his visa extension, all shows the diabolical mind of Tahawwur Rana. Bhavtosh.
Yes, Madhav. In fact, it was in June 2007 that David Headley Coleman showed the reconnaissance video, and both Major Iqbal as well as Sajid Mir were very impressed by these video, but they wanted further reconnaissance. So again in that month, he went back to US and told Tahawwur Rana that he wants to again carry out reconnaissance, but his visa had expired. Both of them again went to Indian embassy in Chicago, and Tahawwur Rana then felicitated his extension of visa by 10 years, and this was multiple entry visa. Once he got that, he went back to Pakistan, and we was told by Major Iqbal as well as by Sajid Mir to carry out reconnaissance of Taj Mahal Hotel in South Mumbai, as well as Shiv Sena headquarters and National Defence College in New Delhi. So that was a diabolical plan that was hatched in 2007. In fact, both of them were carrying out recce of various places in India, including Delhi, Jaipur, Pune. So that planning actually happened in 2005 and 6, and the terror attack happened in 2008.
Bhavtosh and Rishabh, thanks so much for getting us all the latest updates. In fact, viewers, we're going to continue tracking this story. In fact, we're going to debate and also tell you more about the relationship between Tahawwur Rana and David Headley, as was stated in the NIA charge sheet. Now, the first visit where we are talking about is where Headley spoke to Rana 32 times. Now, in the second visit that was made, he spoke to Rana 23 times as per the NIA charge sheet. He made a third visit as well, where Headley spoke to Rana 40 times, and you can see the two of them in this photograph. The fifth visit, Headley spoke to Rana 37 times. So keeping him updated on every such aspect, on every visit. On the sixth visit of Headley, he spoke to Rana 33 times, and in his seventh and eighth visit, in fact, he's spoken over 66 times as well, is what we are told. This is as far as the NIA charge sheet is concerned, and clearly, of course, showing what really is the importance that has been attached as far as Headley and Rana's relationship is concerned. But while Rana is being brought to India to face the law, there are a host of other terrorists who've been charge sheeted by the NIA but continue to be shielded by Pakistan. Let's take a look at some of them. Now, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Hafiz Saeed, who has been awarded 78 years of imprisonment in the year 2020, but he is protected by ISI and special commandos there in Pakistan. He has frequently made public appearances when he gets out of jail. And of course, there's also the individual Zakir Rahman Lakwi, who was sentenced to 15 years in jail in 2021. His role is widely documented, where central agencies have said that he openly coordinates LET activities inside of Pakistan. There's also Sajid Mir, who in 2005 visited Delhi to watch the India-Pakistan cricket match. His role also documented because he has carried out recce's as well of the National Defence College that we were just speaking about. Pakistan claims he's in jail, but the whereabouts of this individual, Sajid Mir, are not known at the moment. There's also Major Iqbal, who has trained the 2611 terrorists, including David Headley, and he was never someone who faced prosecution in Pakistan as well, despite his role being well known. Now, there's also Abdul Rahman Hashim Saeed, an LET commander whose whereabouts at the moment are unknown. There's Ilyas Kashmiri, whose links with Al-Qaeda and LET are very well documented, was also involved in training of David Headley, is what we are told. And he is, of course, somebody who's believed to have died in a drone attack earlier as well. So this is as far as all of these individuals are concerned. All of their roles have been given in dossier after dossier by India to Pakistan. But Pakistan refuses to act on these individuals. With now Tahawwur Rana coming to India, will he spill the beans on these individuals further? And what more information can he give our agencies 17 years after the attack? That's what we're going to be debating.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, and in fact, joining us at the moment is a former minister and also former Home Secretary of the Government of India, Mr. R.K. Singh. First of all, thanks so much, Mr. R.K. Singh, for joining us here on Times Now. With Tahawwur Rana, who's accused of masterminding the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks, being extradited from the US to India, is expected to arrive tomorrow. What does this extradition signify for India's fight against cross-border terror?
I think it's a major achievement. This is actually, I would call it an inflection point. This sends out a message to all the terrorists of whatever country they belong to, that they can be extradited to face trial in the country which they attacked. And that, I think, is a major milestone for the world's fight against terrorism, not only ours. One correction, the mastermind of the 2008 terror attacks, Mumbai 2611, is not Tahawwur Rana. He was a facilitator. He was a cog in the wheel. The masterminds are in Pakistan. And the mastermind of the terror attack was actually the deep state of Pakistan, which includes the army and the ISI. ISI is also a part of the army. You must understand that. A serving army general heads the ISI. So this attack, which was conceived by the deep state of Pakistan, terrorists were picked, handpicked. They were trained over a period of almost 2 months, 2.5 months, by ex-army officers, and they were given professional training. They were equipped. In fact, they had come across the grenades which they carried were Chinese grenades, which only Pakistan could have had. When the operation was going on, when this terror attack was going on, it was controlled moment to moment from a control room in Karachi, and the terrorists were given direction in real time. So basically, it is the deep state of Pakistan which was responsible for this.
Right, and in the aftermath of the 26/11 terror attack, in fact, India had sent dossier after dossier of evidence to Pakistan to establish the involvement of groups and individuals who are across the border and are involved in this. Are you now hopeful of action in terms of getting these perpetrators of terror back in India?
Yes, actually, we had shared all the evidence which we had with the Pakistanis, and we had been pressurizing them that they must take action against Lakhvi and all those operatives who were there in Pakistan. In fact, as I said, it was planned and conceived in Pakistan. The training was done, and the whole operation was controlled from Pakistan. And we had been pressing that they must take action. They took some action, especially because of the FATF, etc. They arrested Lakhvi for some time. Then after that he came out. Then again he was incarcerated. But that incarceration also was, I believe, in a very comfortable jail conditions. Currently, you see, I'm out of touch. But currently, what's happening in those cases against the masterminds and the operatives in Pakistan, those who actually set up and carried this out, who are in Pakistan, what's happening, I'm not in touch. But we need to keep pursuing this. And extradition of Tahawwur Rana, and which facilitates our interrogation of Tahawwur Rana, which will give us some further maybe information about the role of different agencies. Now, his testimony may also help in nailing or in conviction of some of these people, operatives who are in Pakistan. But the pressure on Pakistan will need to be, maintained in order to make sure that those people are actually punished.
Also, how can Rana's extradition further impact ongoing efforts to bring David Headley to justice in India while he's currently serving a 35-year prison sentence in the US? What are the prospects for India securing Headley's extradition in the near future?
I don't think that would be possible, because we had raised it, the Home Minister, the then Home Minister and I, when we had visited the United States. We'd asked for his extradition, but the answer from the United States was negative. They said that we have already convicted him. He had been in prison for 70 years, 80 years or something like that. And they were not in favor of granting the extradition. So I am not very sanguine that United States will agree to the extradition of Headley. There's a reason for that. You see, Headley was a double agent. He was also the agent of the DEA. Their organization which fights drugs, etc., drug trafficking. And he was actually a United States double agent. So he was working for the ISI, at the same time he was working for agencies of the United States. So that would be one sensitivity why the United States may not want to extradite him. In fact, that's what my assessment was.
Also, sir, what message does this extradition send to the world in terms of India's fight against cross-border terror, particularly in the context of state-sponsored terror? The reason I'm asking you is that 17 years hence, India continues to pursue this case. And doesn't this show that India will spare no efforts in bringing to justice perpetrators of such dastardly acts of terror, wherever they may be?
Absolutely. You see, the entire tenor of India's approach has become much more hard, masculine, as far as dealing with terrorists are concerned. And this you will see across the board ever since our government came to office. Now you will notice that the terrorist attacks have come down, because the sponsors of the terrorist attacks, the deep state of Pakistan, they've realized that we shall hit back. And we keep hitting back. Now that's the message which has gone across, which has brought the incidents of terrorism down. And
okay.
That, I think, is one of the achievements of this government.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. R.K. Singh, for speaking to us here on Times Now. And certainly, of course, as you said, a lot of questions, a lot of answers, hopefully, that Tahawwur Rana can provide, and further action more of the accused, or rather the guilty in this particular case, the masterminds who could be now brought to justice after 17 long years. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's now open this up for debate. Joining us is Major General G.D. Bakshi, a defense analyst. We have Sushil Pandit, activist, joining us. With us also is Hemant Bhavdankar, a cop who nabbed Kasab as well. We have Dr. Hussain Tebo, strategic affairs analyst from Pakistan. Also joining us is Faraz Saeed, Pakistan journalist. Let me start first and foremost with the cop who nabbed Kasab, Hemant Bhavdankar. Hemant ji, आज की डेट में जब हम देखते हैं कि इतने साल बाद, 17 साल बाद तहव्वुर राणा वापस इंडिया आ रहे हैं यूएस से एक्सट्राडाइट होकर, ऐसे समय पे आपको क्या लगता है, जितने भी विक्टिम्स हैं टेरर के लिए और आपके लिए खास तौर से जो आप इतने क्लोजली इन्वॉल्व थे उस दिन, कैसा महसूस कर रहे होंगे?
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि आखिर हमारी एनआई एजेंसी ने वहां से एक्स्ट्राडिशन करके तहव्वुर राणा को यहाँ पे ला रहे हैं। ये मैं कहूंगा कि जो 26/11 में जो विक्टिम्स थे और जिन्होंने वहां पे अपना योगदान भी दिया था, उन सबको एक ऐसा फीलिंग होगा कि जस्टिस दूर नहीं है, जस्टिस डेफिनेटली मिल जाएगी।
Justice definitely milegi. Let me now quickly take this across to some of our guests from Pakistan. Dr. Hussain Tebo, the role of Pakistan is very well documented. India gave dossier after dossier. Pakistan did very little. Finally, when that entire FATF episode of being taken out from the grey list, etc. happened, that's when some amount of action finally took place. But now is Pakistan concerned because Tahawwur Rana could very well spill the beans on all those who were directly involved in the plotting and the execution of the 26/11 terror attack from Pakistan soil.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. First of all, I must say this is all. I was listening the former Minister R.K. Singh, and he was telling the story of film of Wednesday related to Pakistan Army, Pakistan ISI, Pakistan Deep State. So this is all stories based on your movies, not a reality. We have nothing to do with your internal politics, with your terrorism. It is all about created by yourself.
So where is Hafiz Saeed? Please tell me. Where is Hafiz Saeed? Where is Zakir Rahman Lakhvi? What are they doing in Pakistan? Please
let me allow to finish my arguments first, then you have to...
No, you are saying it's fiction. Where are all these individuals? I'm asking you.
Where are they? It is all created by your own government. Currently, 120 separatist movements are in Hindustan, which is not created by us. Rajkumar Mengwar, Assam.
No, let me just stop you there, Mr. Tebo. Mr. Tebo, talk about what is happening within your country first. At this point of time, a Pakistan officer, army officer, who is a doctor no less, who is a Canadian citizen, you can now say, but his roots are very much within Pakistan, is being extradited to India. So I can understand your panic and your nervousness because that's clearly not something that you are used to. You're not used to seeing Pakistani terrorists come to justice. But this time round, India has proved that it will do so. And in fact, let me bring in Major General G.D. Bakshi. Major General G.D. Bakshi, the nervousness is quite palpable because he's in complete denial. He's calling all of this fiction. He will call even the dossiers fiction because Pakistan wants to, blinker itself and, not even look at the reality of what has happened.
The simple fact is that Pakistan can do what it likes. But we will not forget, we will not forgive. We will uproot these people even from their graves if we have to get them to justice. Let Pakistan do all its denials. The simple fact why Pakistan is getting so nervous is that now we are getting, so far they were blaming it on, the non-state actors, the Lashkar-e-Toiba. They were saying it's none of our work. We haven't done any such thing. But the simple fact is, the damn fact is that this Tahawwur Rana was in the military cadet school, in Pakistan, along with Major Iqbal of the ISI and Dawood Gilani aka David Coleman Headley. Tahawwur Rana had joined the Pakistan Army Medical Corps. He was a captain in the Pakistan Army. Let us start calling him that, because that is his true designation, which Pakistan is keen to hide. You see, once Tahawwur Rana gives his testimony, and he will sing like a canary, you know, he will sing like a canary from tomorrow onwards. This will implicate the Major Iqbal of the Pakistan's ISI, and in turn implicate the Pakistani military hierarchy and the ISI deep state. That means instead of deniability of non-state actors doing something which Pakistan has no control over, the whole thing will be shown to have been masterminded by the ISI and executed by some low-level minions of the Lashkar, right? The entire thing, the operational planning was done by Major Iqbal in cahoots with Tahawwur Rana and...
Very important point. Very important point. They can't go on saying that this is non-state actors who are exporting terror from their soil. Let me bring in Faraz on that point. Very important point, General Bakshi. Just a moment. Faraz, you know, this is a very important point being made here by Major G.D. Bakshi, because Pakistan always tries to say, look here, we don't control these actors. They are various terror groups. The role of Major Iqbal is very well documented. He has not faced justice there in Pakistan. There's also the fact that, you know, David Headley, his own brother, Daud Gilani, was even at one point of time the spokesperson for one of your prime ministers. So the links of all of these individuals to Pakistan are undeniable.
Thank you for having me. I would respectfully disagree with General Bakshi. Have great respect for the man, but slightly disagreeing with him that we should call Mr. Rana as the Pakistan Army captain, because again he shifted and immigrated to Canada back in 1997. And from then onwards, he has no links to Pakistan Army whatsoever. And now, if there's a success of Indian diplomacy, and if he's finally brought back to Indian soil, I mean, I'm glad that should be happening, because if there is concrete evidence at the hands of Indian authorities, he should be tried. I have no sympathies, no soft corners for any terrorist which is exported by India or Pakistan. I have simple and single verdict on all these terrorists, that if there are concrete evidences, they should be tried in every court of in every corner of the world, and should be held accountable for their actions, because again, Mumbai attacks killed nearly 166 people. Similarly, the attacks in Pakistan, Balochistan, Sindh, KPK, your acting serving officer, Kulbhushan Yadav, still, in custody.
Faraz, let me just stop you right there. Faraz, let me just stop you right there, since you're very refreshing to hear this voice from Pakistan, where you say all terrorists must be punished. Wonderful. What about those dossiers after 2008 of evidence that India gave of all of those actors from Pakistan soil? What did you do? Nothing. You sat on those dossiers, not taking any action, despite the fact that hard evidence was given of all those who are involved. And this is after a thorough investigation.
Madhavdas, you're right. Dossiers were received, and if you talk about Hafiz Saeed is languishing in imprisonment. I mean, he is house arrested in Lahore. That's
how does he keep?
That's no hidden secret.
Under pressure of FATF and every such activity, and yet he still keeps popping up and making public appearances. It's a very unique jail term that he is serving, where he once in a while pops up on the streets of Pakistan as well. What kind of jail term is this? I don't know.
Or without pressure, under pressure or without pressure, the local courts sentenced him, gave a verdict. Now he's languishing in imprisonment, and that's the open secret. I mean, tomorrow, if we try another terrorist, you'll say somehow it was under global pressure. So when we acting on the dossiers, that's somehow under pressure.
Sir, acting after a decade and a half, but nevertheless, let me bring in Sushil Pandit. Sushil Pandit, he is allegedly languishing in jail. Would you like to respond to Faraz?
Madhav, I'm not surprised how, with a straight face, people calling themselves journalists and analysts lie, and lie repeatedly. This man wasn't languishing in jail. This man was roaming free and collecting money and jihadis to wage jihad against India for years. I actually pity at those who think that by sending dossiers to Pakistan, they expect Pakistani state, which is complicit in this terror, to take action against its own instruments while they are in their security, while they are in their patronage. How do you expect Pakistani state, retired or serving ISI officers, to act against their own instruments of terror, their own gurgas running Jaish and Lashkar, when India sends dossiers? So if dossiers are not going to help. Yes, FATF pressure did help for a moment, for some time. And how did it help? Zakiur Rahman Lakhvi sired a son in custody. That is the kind of languishing in jail that happens in Pakistan. So I have absolutely no doubt about how these people operate in Pakistan and whether Pakistan will ever punish its own children of jihad. But the problem here is this man, Tahawwur Rana, who now this analyst very coolly disassociates from Pakistan Army, is the one who himself visited Taj, is the one who extended visa for David Coleman Hadley or Dawood Gilani, is himself who interacted with ISI operatives and Pakistani army personnel, and was actually convicted for another plot in Denmark on Copenhagen. So the two are actually combined. Right. And it is the testimony of Dawood Gilani against ISI and against Pakistan and against Tahawwur Rana. It's not Indian stories. It is his detailed testimony. He actually became an approver in this case in US. He spilled the beans. It is not Indian story, Indian figment of imagination. Sorry, Mr. Analyst, and sorry, Mr. Journalist. It is your own boy, David Coleman Hadley, alias Dawood Gilani, who turned an approver, who actually squealed on Tahawwur.
Dr. Hussain Thebo, India ki kahani nahi, ye US courts ki kahani hai. He has turned approver. Yes. Are you going to say that even US is creating fiction now about Pakistan?
You lie.
No. I was telling about the US and Canada. Recently, on the 20th May 2024, the 3 RA agents were caught in USA to killing the Sikh.
अरे सर आप दाऊद गिलानी के बारे में बताइए. What has he said in the US court? No, comment on that. Comment on the subject at hand. Because Dawood Gilani was a close aide of Tahawwur Rana. Can you deny that? Can you deny that he received logistical help in terms of extension of visa, in terms of extensive phone calls that the two made, in terms of actual support that logistically that was provided by him? Deny that, sir.
If you don't want to listen the background of your terrorism inside your
I don't want to listen to any, I don't want to listen to your cock and bull stories. I want to listen to what's happening now in relation to Tahawwur Rana. Can you discuss Tahawwur Rana? Do you have the guts to discuss Tahawwur Rana? Do you have the guts to own up to the export of Pakistan that is terror and the international migraine that you are, as Madeleine Albright called you? Do you have the guts to respond to that?
Because of your internal policy.
No, it is not our internal politics, because the only thing that Pakistan exports today is terror. And in fact, the whole world is sick of that. US itself is handing over your terrorists to India. It should show you and be a wake-up call for you that this is not what, these are not the sort of made-up stories that you should be believing. You understand that, Mr. Thebo?
Be an anchor. If you have raised the question, then you have guts to listen to the answer.
No, you speak facts. You speak facts about Tahawwur Rana. Are you going to debate Tahawwur Rana? Yes or no?
Why are you become an analyst?
No, are you debating Tahawwur Rana or not? Are you going to talk about terror in Pakistan soil or not?
Definitely.
Admit to terrorism from Pakistan soil.
I will talk.
Let me read out. Let me remind you what your own Prime Minister said. Wait a minute, Mr. Thebo. This is what Imran Khan said. Until we came into power, governments didn't have the political will, because when you talk about militant groups, we still have about 30,000 to 40,000 armed people trained and fought in some part of Afghanistan or Kashmir, said the Pakistan Prime Minister. This was a watershed in Pakistan politics. This is the kind of admission your own Prime Minister has made. What fool's paradise are you living in?
What is your response about the 120 separation movement inside your Hindustan?
Sir, first talk about your own country. Talk about your own country. Why are your terrorists walking around like free men? Can you answer that? Do you have any answer for that?
Your country. Your terrorism.
Sushil Pandit, you are wanting to refer to this Pak analyst. You know, he is in complete denial. He has nothing to talk about his own terror. At least Faraz acknowledged somewhere that there is terror and it's a problem for Pakistan. This man is in total denial.
See, what somebody whose livelihood depends on not admitting the truth will never admit the truth. The man is on a brief from ISI. He is actually skirting the debate into any other realm but the issue on hand. They will talk about everything else under the sun except Tahawwur Rana, except Mumbai attacks, except David Coleman Headley, except ISI conspiracy, except Lashkar, except all these elements part of Mumbai attack, except these, they will talk about everything else. They will talk about Balochistan, they will talk about Donald Trump, they will talk about Elon Musk, they will talk about everything else, not about this.
Right.
That is, and which is why I'm saying this dossier politics has a formal place in this entire scheme of things. We should not lay money on this. We have to act on our own. We are left on our own in this world. I also believe Tahawwur Rana is thrown to us as a sop. It is not an abiding, continuing cooperation between Pakistan, between US and India. It is just a sop. Just as David Coleman Headley will never be handed over, Pannu will never be handed over. Various other assets of CIA
we'll certainly be watching if that is indeed the case. A very important concern that you're expressing there, Sushil Pandit, but we'll have to leave it there. Major General G.D. Bakshi, Sushil Pandit, Hemant Bhavdankar, Dr. Hussain Thebo and Faraz Saeed, thanks so much for joining us this evening.